Welcome back. Let's go to step 2. Notice that we've got our CF0 and we have our operating cash flows. CO1, FO1 is 5. Okay, so let's do our weighted average cost of capital. Okay, so we need to identify the source of capital, the sources, and we're going to use bonds and stock. Okay, and we're going to have to find the weight of each. Okay, and then we're going to have to find the cost of each, and we multiply that times that and we get the weighted cost. Okay, so let's find the weight. So the weight is equal to the number of units times the market price per unit. Okay? So bonds. We've got 128 bonds times $950 per bond. Okay? And so, let's see. All right, so that's $121,600. Then stock. 9,750 shares of stock times $15 per share is $143,550. Okay? Add it up and we're raising $265,150. Okay? Which is as close as I could get to that. So this is how much money we're raising. How much is in bonds? How much is in stock? Well, $121,600 divided by $265,150 is equal to 45.9%. And $143,550 divided by $265,150 is equal to 54.1%. Together that's 100%. And that is the weight of each. Now we have to find the cost of each. We'll do the bonds first. The cost of bonds, compute IY. Compute IY, that's the cost. But then we have to multiply that times 1 minus the tax rate to get the after-tax cost of bonds. So, 1,000 is our future value. 950 plus minus is our present value. 5 years times 2 payments per year, it's semi-annual. 10 is our N. 7% coupon rate times the par value, $70 divided by 2 times per year, 35 is our payment. Okay? So we've got our future value, our present value, our N, and our payment. Compute IY, and we get 4.12%. That is the semi-annual IY, semi-annual problem, semi-annual answer, times 2 payments per year, 8.24%. And that is our before-tax annual IY. We're going to take 8.24% and multiply it by 1 minus the tax rate to get our after-tax cost, because we can deduct it, which means the government is subsidizing or reducing the cost of our interest for us. Thank you very much. Okay? And we get 5.77%. That's how much this capital is going to cost us. 5.77%. Okay? Now let's do the cost of equity. And to do the cost of equity, we're going to use two methods. The first one is CAPM. And CAPM is equal to the risk-free rate, which is the Treasury bill, plus beta times the expected return for the market minus the risk-free rate. Okay? So the risk-free rate in our problem here is 2%, 0.02. The stock is 50% more volatile than the market. The beta is 1.5. The expected return for the market is 9%, 0.09 minus 0.02. So we're going to do this first, this second, and this third. So 0.09 minus 0.02 is 0.07 times 1.5 plus 0.02. So we're going to do this second, and we got 1.5 times 0.07 is 10.5% plus 2%, and that's equal to 12.5%. And that is the cost of equity using the CAPM. Now we're going to use Gordon. In Gordon, K is equal to D1 over PO plus G. And in the problem it says that D1 is going to be $1. PO starts off at $15. So $1 over $15, that's the dividend yield, D1 over PO. And we hope to grow it by, what's the growth rate? The growth rate is 10% plus 0.1. And so $1 divided by 15 plus 0.10 is 0.1667 times 100 equals 16.67%. So we have found two different costs of equity. One using Gordon, the other using CAPM. CAPM costs 12.5%. Gordon costs 16.67%. We're going to average the two. Average the CAPM and Gordon. And so we get 12.5% plus 16.67% divided by 2. And we get an average cost of capital, of equity, of 14.58%. Now in this particular problem, so that's our average cost of equity. This is the cost of equity. Now I say in this problem, I don't do this on the test, but in this problem, I say add 7.5 percentage points, okay, to the cost of equity because of risk. So that's how I want you to treat this. So plus the risk adjustment, we'll call that the risk premium. It's a small private business, so we're going to add 7.5% to this, and we get our cost of equity of 22.08%. That is the cost of equity, and we're going to put it right here, 22.08%. Now, on the exam, what I do is you have to come up with your weighted average cost of capital, which is your discount rate. NPV I equals the WACC, the weighted average cost of capital. But then I tell you after you do that to adjust the entire cost of capital, your entire WACC, up or down depending on whether the project is more risky than the average project or less risky. In this particular problem, I'm asking you only to adjust the cost of equity. Okay, so the test problem will look a little different. In the test problem again, you will simply adjust your overall WACC up or down. Let's say you come up with a WACC of 10% on the test, and I say the project is actually 20% riskier than your average project. So you're going to multiply 10% times 1.2, and you'll get 12% as NPV I equals what? 12%. Okay? That's how you're going to do it on the test. We did a little different in this problem. All right. So, now, to finish up this part of it. So we're going to multiply 45.9% times 5.77%, and we get 2.65%. That's the weighted cost of bonds. Then we're going to multiply 54.1% times 22.08%, okay, and we get 11.95%, and that's the weighted cost of equity. We're going to add them together, and we get 14.6%. And that is your K. 14.6%. Okay? All of this to get your discount rate. NPV I equals your discount rate. All right, we're going to take another quick break so I can clean the board off, and we'll finish up this problem. Shalom.